I'm coming into this video feeling grateful that I was able to complete my first insert for my coaching program. I'm feeling grateful for this platform. I'm feeling grateful for the change that it will ultimately make, not only in the viewer's life, but also in my life. Yeah. In today's video, we are going to be reading and continuing our journey of reading the Bible from cover to cover, one chapter a week. And today we are reading Genesis 8. This is the sound check. So welcome to my YouTube channel. The name is Gorata.Selaledi. I'm so excited to be here today on a beautiful Friday. I hope you had an amazing week. And coming into this video, hoping that you have your Bible with you and an open mind to receive what it is God wants to speak into our lives today. I am Gorata.Selaledi. If you're only joining me for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please do click on that subscription button and the notification bell so that you're notified when new videos come out. New videos every Sunday, Monday, and Friday. Welcome if you are a returning subscriber. Thank you so much for supporting and following the journey. We will be here for a very long while, given that we are trying to read the Bible from cover to cover. I believe that I'll be here till 52. I feel like by the time I get there, I should take like a break from the platform altogether. And probably find something else to refocus my energy on, because the natural progression that I've seen with my podcast, which is just audio, when I started this platform, it kind of fell away, and you can actually check it out. It was called 633 Daily. But I believe that in terms of Bible study and building community, by the time I reach 52, I believe that we would have a very strong community of people that read and try to understand the word for themselves so as to change their lives and how they show up and make a dent in the grand scheme of eternity. So welcome, welcome. Let's get right into the word. So I am going to read Genesis 8 in your hearing. I am reading the King James Version, right? It says, "And God remembered Noah and every living thing." Just going to check my mic. "And God remembered Noah and every living thing, and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged." Just as a disclaimer, my dog is a bit anxious and annoyed. So it is moaning. Is that the word? Yeah, so that's the sound you're hearing here and there, right? But let's continue. "The fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained. And the waters returned from off the earth continually, and after the end of the 150 days, the waters were abated." Two new words, assuaged and abated. There's a bit of wind outside, and I want to close the window that's directly near my mirror, just in case people view. Hold on, let's continue, right? So from verse 4, it says, "And the ark rested in the 7th month, on the 7th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the 1st day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen. And it came to pass at the end of the 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made. And he sent forth a raven, which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up from off the earth. And he also sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her and pulled her." Ooh, my battery's low. "And pulled her in unto him into the ark. And he stayed yet another 7 days, and again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came into him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. And he stayed yet another 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him any more. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the first month, the first day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth, and Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. And in the second month, on the 7th and 20th day of the month, was the earth dried. And God spake unto Noah, saying, Go forth of the ark, thou and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. Bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee, of all flesh, both of fowl and of cattle, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, that they may breed abundantly in the earth, and be fruitful and multiply upon the earth. And Noah went forth, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him, every beast, every creeping thing, and every fowl, and whatsoever creepeth upon the earth, after their kinds, went forth out of the ark, including Bailey. And Noah builded an altar unto the Lord, and took of every clean beast and every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And the Lord smelled a sweet savour, and the Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake. For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more everything living as I have done. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. And that concludes the reading of Genesis 8. So I did go charge my phone for a bit, made a sandwich, and was back. So let's jump right into the reflection of Genesis 8, right? I think personally what I am learning from doing this journey is that I am learning I'd say critical lessons that I need for my life personally, because with each verse comes with it so much wisdom, right? So surprisingly, even Genesis 5 that just has the genealogy, and watch out, Genesis 10 might look the same. But yeah, I'm thinking about Genesis 8 and the key lessons that we're taking away from Noah and what was happening right after the flood, right? Maybe just to start, since we've already read through the scripture, the observations from my pen fell. The observations from the chapter itself, right? What we are seeing here is Bible trivia. The ark rested on the mountains of Ararat. And I remember watching Manifest and how they incorporated this, and how there was like a lost piece of Noah's Ark that activated. Can't remember, even I watched it a while back during COVID. But yeah, on the mountains of Ararat, I digress so hard. And then we see Noah leaving the ark only after God instructs him to leave the ark. That's something that's also important to note from what we're seeing from this chapter. And then most importantly, we see Noah building an altar, sorry. We see him building an altar and offering sacrifices to the Lord, right? And I can only imagine, don't mind me, my blazer. Anyways, let's not reveal that. Maybe at the end, had a little bit of an accident. Yeah, so what I was gonna say is that what we are seeing from Genesis 8 is a new beginning, and I can only imagine how that day was when they got out of the ark, how tiny the trees must have been, how curious the animals must have been as well. The air must have been so clean. And I can only imagine what thoughts Noah, his family, his sons, and their wives had in their minds to say, we have the responsibility to repopulate the earth. That's a thought. We have the responsibility. Oh, don't mind my dogs. We have the responsibility to steward this new beginning that God has given us, right? And stewardship is taking care of someone else's belongings. In this case, God is entrusting the earth into the hands of Noah and his family. God is entrusting these animals in Noah's hands. God is entrusting his family in Noah's hands in terms of ushering and stewarding them well. And there is a call and a reiteration from what God had shared with Adam and Eve to say, let me look for it. Yeah, in verse 17 it says, bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee, of all flesh, both of fowl and of cattle, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, that they may breed abundantly in the earth, and be fruitful, and multiply upon the earth. Right? So the call to be fruitful and multiply is reinstituted, if I was to say, and I like the fact that even after God gives this instruction to Noah and his family, Noah then, his posture is of gratitude, where he builds an altar to give thanks, where he builds an altar to solidify the covenant that he has with the Lord, right? And by offering sacrifices to the Lord to just, I guess, as a sign of worship, to then say, you know what, having had lived through this moment, being covered and provided for by you, we give you praise in this moment before we set out to. My honest prayer for July and August is for a new phone with more memory, because I keep getting pushed out because of my memory. But I think let's just move right along into, I'll say, the application. From Genesis 8, I made a few notes that I want to share with you here today. So something we're noting that I'd highlighted earlier is how Noah waited for God to instruct him to leave the ark, right? So we're told that Noah had sent out a dove, and the dove had come back and gave him a little piece, I guess a twig, to then say that everything is growing out there in the world, and Noah could have easily gotten out of the ark, right? But what we're seeing as a takeaway going into this new weekend, new week, moving into the third week of July, is just the patience and obedience that Noah postured himself in, waiting for God to instruct him to leave the ark, right? So the prayer moving into this third week of July is for patience and obedience and what God is calling us to do in the different areas of our lives, right? And the second thing, please don't mind that, that's my dog Bailey. He is a bit anxious. Okay. And the second thing that I've also noted is in reflecting on the gratitude and worship posture that Noah took up, right? What we're seeing in Genesis 8 is that Noah's first act is to build an altar and offer sacrifices. Noah is acknowledging God's provision and mercy, right? And what I like and what I've picked, I think, catching myself in reflecting on this recording, is how Noah decides to build the altar before he goes about to execute on the call to be fruitful and multiply, which is something that I believe going into the third week of July could be a posture that we take on for ourselves, to then say, before you start your day, before you start a project, before you start whatever new thing that you might be stepping into, but most importantly, the thing that we start each and every single day, a new day, you make and set aside time to go to God and just extend gratitude for the simple act of you being alive. Not so simple, but for the privilege of God extending that grace for you to see another day, right? And that would set the tone for your day. And for me personally, the prayer that has been posturing me, hey, that has been posturing me, sorry, that has been posturing me on a daily basis is Psalms 23 and the Lord's Prayer, right? And for me, in thinking about let your kingdom come, that simple line can be applied to all the areas of my life to say, Lord, let your kingdom come in my life. Let your kingdom come in my family. Let your kingdom come in my career. Each and every thought and plan that heaven holds regarding all those areas, let it be made manifest in my life. So in thinking about that posture of starting off the day with gratitude, starting off the day with worship, prayer can be a practical place to actually incorporate those things, right? And even throughout the day, there's something that I remember. It says, if you were to think of 10% of your day, given that it's 24 hours, I think it's 24 minutes. 24 minutes, I think. Yeah, but in thinking about that, to say at the start of every hour, at the top of every hour you're alive, you're awake. Given that through 8 or 4 you're probably sleeping, this video is going to be a bit chaotic because of my babies. Guys, Bubbles, come here. Yeah, so in thinking about the 10% of your day that you are awake, I want to challenge you, and I think as a takeaway for myself in learning and seeing what Noah did just before rushing to build, rushing to be fruitful, rushing to multiply, he took time to stay and sit in the presence of God, right? So 1 minute every single hour of the day, at the top of the hour, say the Lord's Prayer at the top of the hour, recite Psalms 23. Baby, oh, it's gonna be so loud in this video. Chaotic, hey? But just to wrap up the thought, given that my babies aren't giving, listen to him. Yeah. I've decided to title today's video God's Promises for a Fresh Start, right? It's a new week, probably from Sunday. A new week will be starting. And I'd want to encourage you to really look at new beginnings from that perspective, to say when a new week starts, you have an opportunity to recreate and reinvent how you show up and how you, I'd say, carry the responsibility of being an ambassador of the kingdom of God, right? In carrying love, carrying joy into all the spaces and carrying that atmosphere of love into those spaces. I'd want to challenge you, just like Noah, to take time to wait on God and start the day in God's presence, to then say, look, Lord, this particular area of my life, I am waiting for you to speak into my life, and I will make deliberate efforts to come into your presence and hear what you have to say, to read your word, to hear what you have to say about my life. Otherwise, it's interesting that they're quiet now. Otherwise, let's see. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I hope that it blesses you, and I hope that you will take time to read Genesis 8 for yourself. Please do leave a comment in terms of what stood out for you. What stood out for you in this video? What were the key takeaways? What were the key lessons from Noah's life? And most importantly, if you are a new viewer, please do click on that subscription button and the notification bell, as we're going to be here for a while, for the next 22 years to be precise. And loving the consistency so far. I hope that you will join on the journey, and if you are reading along with me, please do leave it in the comments. Your engagement is highly appreciated. But otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's give Bubbles the limelight. The girlie who is trending in my household right now is this girl over here. Say hi, everybody. You got a haircut, didn't you? Alright, guys. Milo also wants wants a chance in the spotlight. Let's give him a moment. Ooh, there he is. Oh, there he is. I wonder if I'll show you what I was hiding earlier. So this was a thrifted jacket. And this morning, when I was trying to put the dogs away, I reached out and it ripped completely. Look at that. Human moment, but I am going to get it fixed because I really love the quality. It's really good. Do you thrift? If you do, leave it in the comments. Jokes. Thank you for watching. Have an amazing weekend ahead. May God's favor locate you and may His grace sustain you throughout this coming new week. Thanks for watching and goodbye.